Alright, morning guys, or afternoon whenever you're watching this. It's Saturday morning to me, it's almost noon, so I guess it's time to give this another crack. So what I've learned so far is that, yeah, it likes heat, so I am going to drop down the transmission today, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and, I don't know how it's going to turn out as a video. I'll try and continue to talk as I go, but I want to do it in a one-shot thing, just to show how much time it takes. Don't need that. Just to cover a couple quick things that other people have mentioned. All kinds of guys are still talking about a tow rig. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video. I don't think I did. Out of the box, this is probably the lightest RC that is in its class, if you will. This thing only weighs 2.5 pounds. So if you're going to tow something with it, you're adding a lot of weight and gearing it super down. I mean, like less than 900 kV or higher than a 55 turn motor. But it would need a bunch of weight and a really, really slow torquey motor, because this thing's geared for speed, not pleasure. Other than that though, still a great truck. Things that guys were asking was overall measurements and stuff like that. I believe I did mention that it's a 17.5-inch wheelbase. Yep, I'll stick with that. Now, the ass end, from the edge of the tire to the edge of the tire is about 11 5/8, just under 11 3/4. Tires, I think I mentioned before, about 4 inches tall. Yeah, just under 4 inches tall. Not much else to tell you after that, unless you need to know the front end width. If you go to my Instagram, I did try a couple different bodies yesterday. TRX 6 body. It's okay for the length, but then you have the big gap from the wheel well on the back, right? So it doesn't look very good. But then I put my Ford 79 Ford with the wagon bag on on it, and didn't look bad. But yeah, I'm sticking with this body for sure because I'm a Ford guy. If you go rubber to rubber, about 9 1/8. But if you go to the outside of the hubcap, or whatever you want to call it, you're about 10 inches. What did we say on the back? 11.5? That's about it, I can tell you. Yeah, so shorter shocks are in my future, I think. You can't dampen them off anymore because they're about as soft as they can get. Maybe if I stiffen them up. Nah, I don't think that's going to do it the rolling. That part's okay. I can deal with that. Or maybe even remove the shocks completely. No, that's a bad idea. But I got a heat sink cooling fin doohickey on the motor now. I'm sure it'll help a bit, but I'm gonna do the transmission thing. So let's start that right now. So just pretend. You can time me if you want, or just look at the time in the video. I'm not gonna bother, but. Try and think about stuff to talk about while I'm doing this to keep you guys half-ass entertained. Molly's trying to make another friend, but this time it's not a skunk. Oh yeah, and I did remove that video. Had a couple people ask me about it, saying they couldn't find it. Yeah, I took it down. A couple of my good friends were slightly uncomfortable seeing me without a shirt on by the looks of their face, because they didn't talk about the skunk, they didn't talk about Molly. All they talked to me about was having to look at me without a shirt on. So, alright, if it's that bad, I'll get rid of it. So, it's gone. But there is a 1-minute video. Those just fall out, by the way. It's warm. There is a 1-minute video on my Instagram if you want to check that out. It's still pretty funny, and I don't think you have to look at my big old hairy boobies. Alright, right transmission. Disconnect the motor. Am I going to need to do that? I can't remember. I'm going to have to take off that. Might as well, it's going to make it easier. And do that. Actually, I'll bring the camera in a bit so you can see a little better. Yeah, that'll work. You don't need to see my face all the time. Alright. Oh, I didn't get everything ready, I guess. I need a wheel wrench. I thought I had everything ready because I know I'm going to need a 2mm and a 2.5, excuse me. And of course the trusty old 7mm. Oh yeah, this is just going to spin. I forgot about this. Bit of a pain in the ass. I've done this before. I had to do this the other day or whatever. So in the one, I just put that one back in, and then you take something like another bit. So professional. Actually, I'll get another Allen key because I don't care if I wreck one. That one. Yeah. So you just got to lock up the transmission while you get this thing out. So what I do is I just put an Allen key through one of the cups or whatever this part is called. So professional, aren't I? Put that in there. That'll hold it still. Whilst I do this, I think I have to do that twice because the screw that's in behind this here slipper, get some mud off. Get mud off. Get mud. Slippers. I hate slippers. It's going to be interesting once I get inside here, because any of you guys who watched the medic video, which I'm sure all or most of you have, this is going to move, because this is the screw that you have to move over to go from high to low. So you got to take that out and move it over position. Once you get the transmission open, you move that gear, you flip it end to end. I'll get there in a moment here. Remember, I have to get that off. I got that, and that. Alright. So I got the drill. Normally, I would never recommend to anyone to use a drill on screws into plastic, but once you've been doing this a long time, you get the feel for it. It's like lipos. I don't have a lipo cutoff on anything I drive, because after a while you just know your vehicle and you know what it feels like when the power gets low. So after a while you get rid of those little safety precautions because you just don't need them. Now I need the 2.5. I think that's it. Nope. Swing and a miss. What was that one? Oh, it is the 2 mil. Where's my 2.5? That screw came out okay. There's one in the back middle on the transmission. That's a 2.5 there. Where the rest of them are 2 mil. There's a little spacer. I'll show you that more when we go to put it back together. I know you didn't probably see anything right there. Does that not want to come out yet? Try that one again. Oh yeah, no problem. Weird. They both came out. Whoops. Alright. That should come off there now. Oh yeah. Okay. So, I think I have to flip this bearing too, if I remember correctly. So the shaft is actually just sitting there because I've already taken the screw out. But that little guy there is going to have to move over. Out of there, you can just move. See the 2 little slots? I don't know how good you can see that because I can barely see the screen, but yeah. And which one did I? Shit. I think I took it out of the one on the right and I'm going to put it back into this one. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to, hold on. It's tough for me to think and screw at the same time. Do-do-do-do-do. So we got that guy in there. Oh yeah, I guess another way to tell is that as soon as I take, so the center gear, the big one in the middle, get that guy out of there. Well, we'll take out both these guys at the same time. There's that guy. And we're just going to flip it around. The bearings are different size from end to end, so again, you have to remember to do that. So you take off the old bearing, put that back in the end that it is supposed to be in. The other bearing is still sitting in there. There it goes. It's just a little guy. You put that on that guy. Slide that in your shaft. At this point, some guys will put bearing oil or bushing oil in there if you want, or even some grease. Only because I'm staying purely road, I'm going to leave it. They feel oily, so that's good enough for me. Oil in there is just fine. Now that's going to go Just, alright, that's going to go in there like so. No, it isn't. I have it backwards. Because I'm just that smart. That way. Threaded part goes out for the slipper. I just saw dog hair go in there, which is just fine. Everything works better with a little bit of Molly. The dog. So that, I should be able to just put this back in here now. Come on. Oh, no. Well, yeah, it should. Give this a little... No? Come on. Dang it. Oh, I always amaze myself at the level of professionalism I bring to every video that I do. Let's try it this way. We're going to put... Oh. We're going to put the... Nope, that ain't... Well, yeah, why not? I'm going to put... Just let the gear sit in there. And then I'm going to put this part back in. So far so good. And this piece should theoretically fit back in there nicely. Scores! Alright, now we're on reassemble. What I was saying earlier, I don't know if I finished the thought or not, I'll go back to it. I normally wouldn't recommend anyone to use a drill. Oh yeah, I went off on a lipo trip. I normally wouldn't tell anyone to use a drill when they're doing stuff, but after you get the feel for stuff, and you can rip apart any RC with a drill, you're not going to hurt nothing doing it like that, right? But with the little 4-volt, you can actually set the clutch soft enough that'll not strip out the plastic. But if I remember correctly right now, it's set up for tires. So I have a little 7mm I can put in the end of that as well, and that's how I tighten up my tires. So this is actually going pretty well, I think. I feel. Just trying to remember all the pieces and parts. That guy. That guy. That guy. Whoops. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to have to do the little trick with the stub again. That wasn't bad, eh? That's kind of tight. Put that in there. Put that in there. Allen key goes in. Oops. There. Stay like that. Tighten the shit out of this. Eddie Brown liked your video. Safari95 liked your video. Sask_RC liked your video. It's my Instagram. Always going off. So that goes in there. Now this has always been the shittiest part for me. I haven't figured out a slick trick to get this back in there yet, because I've had this transmission out 3 or 4 times now. I think this is the 4th time. Once at Medics to switch it, and again to change the motor, and now again to change the gear ratio. Everything turns okay. Doggy bone. Come around there, and that guy. I know you can't see what I'm doing, and that's okay. Because you guys will find your own way to do this. Probably some of you are, no, you yachts, you're supposed to do it like this. It's easier if you blah, 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 the blah, blah. And I'm like, it's too late now. Maybe next time that I hopefully never have to do this again. Ah! Get in there. Oh, there. Shimon. No problem. one screw just to kind of keep it half-ass in place. Then I kitty corner the next screw. Screw number 3. Screw number 4. I'm not going to use a drill on the bottom like I did sandwiching the transmission back together again, because stripping out the holes in the bottom of a transmission sucks, because then you have to buy a new case, buy a new transmission case, because you stripped out the threads in the bottom. Done that before a couple times with the axial, and what I did, first couple times I did it, maybe this little trick might help you guys. I've done a couple things in the past. One is I will go to a coarse thread screw instead of a machine thread screw. I don't know if I'm wording that properly, but any guys who followed me for a long time, I kind of make up my own words sometimes. Do-do-do-do-do. Alright, and that's that. So, I should have put the battery in the charger. I think I forgot to do that. So that's about it, time-wise. That's how long it took me to go in and out with it. It's not bad. Assembly looks correct. I'm going to take it out and go for a rip. I'm going to try and keep about 5 minutes of runtime again. And it's a little cooler today than it was yesterday, but I don't think it should matter. Like, it's already 20 degrees out or something. Maybe by the time I get there, it'll be closer to the 24 degrees it was the first time I took it out. But it should teach me a lot about the heat. I'm going to have the fan plugged in. So yeah, I'm going to charge up the battery, put some pants on, and I'm going to go. See you in a bit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I know I did have the camera a little too low. So hopefully I have it high enough this time around that it looks a little better. I'm going to try and do a half-ass track. Not a lot. Just enough that I have some form of, not rhythm, what would you call it? Direction? Gives me some kind of direction to follow. So as I was saying back at the house, this is just a test with now 3 different plug adapters. I gotta do some soldering, which I haven't done yet. The little airplane inside of this thing wants to take off. So yeah, so now this is back down into low gear or first gear, whatever you want to call it. Oh yeah, you can definitely see the speed loss. That's it, that's maxed out right there. Woo! Still enough to spin though. Torquey as hell. Depending on how, oh, that one looked like it hurt. Depending on how difficult you want to make the course, you can make the course tighter, right? So I'm just doing like a figure 8 type thing with those 2 cones, and then go out here to the island, go around the island. Yeah. Well, good news, bad news so far. Definitely, that's a huge loss of speed. Still fast enough to be fun though. Now, so it's a 3300 kV on 3-cell with the stock 10-tooth pinion. Now, my thoughts earlier, which still are the same, were that if I go to like a 2200 kV, oh, Macone, in a higher quality motor like a Castle or a Tekin,
Then I could start playing with pinion and mesh, or pinion and spur. Not sure how long that was, but let's give it a quick check. Yeah, she's hot. Well, I think that'll about sum it up. Yeah, so that's about it for that guy, I think. Well, that's too bad. The Taser... Oh. Yeah, I wish I had an actual temperature gauge. Jeez, you can even be happy I don't have smell-o-vision, because I can actually smell the heat out of that thing. So that's too bad. It's still fun to run, but I'm definitely gonna have to improve the electronics, because it's got a 10 tooth in it. It's got a 10 tooth in it, which is a pretty small pinion. I only know of a 9 that's smaller. I don't even know if an 8 exists. But my options are slim. I guess I have to wait. Maybe I'll sell another RC, or see if I can get a deal off somebody, off Kijiji or something like that. Because yeah, that's, I don't know how, again, does it tell me? Yeah, the camera's only at 4.5 minutes, so I probably only gave it about a 3.5 or 4 minute rip. It was fun, but that motor got real hot real fast, and I can actually smell it, and you shouldn't be able to smell it unless it's some kind of factory oil that's in it. But yeah, the truck's fun, but it's a little disappointing in that it gets that hot that fast. And yeah, I'm driving it at its highest end, you know, like it's continuous punishment. But there's electronic systems out there that can handle it, and I just don't have one in there yet. So yeah, so just to reiterate what I was just saying that was yesterday. It's actually Sunday morning now. After I got home yesterday, I was gonna finish the video and get her up online, but there's some crap going on with my house, and I got distracted and frankly slightly depressed. So I didn't want to through a video, because that's no fun for anybody. What was I gonna say? Right. So I'm treating this thing like a slash, in a sense of, I'm going to repeat that, yeah, I got to get a higher end motor. This is going to come out. It's a good little system. It's just not right for this truck, even though it does only weigh 2.5 pounds. That system just isn't quality enough to take the punishment of continuous throttle, which I'm going to get to. And then I'm going to answer another question. It's probably the most popular question I've gotten in the last 2 years. Where is Ted? Where is Ted? Where is Ted? I don't know. I've tried texting him a couple times. I don't know if he's just completely out of RC, or he just gets the hankering like once a year and he goes out. I think it's been about a year since I've seen him, but I'm actually going to do something I normally never do. I'm actually going to put a couple links in the description box. So when RC Sparks, Medic, I don't like saying RC Sparks for some reason. I don't know why, it just feels weird. It's like calling someone by their full name or something. I've always called the guy Medic, but somebody called me on it the other day and was like, I'll go here and call him RC Sparks and tell people where you got him. Like, I say Medic. Not everyone knows who Medic is. Pretty sure I know who pretty sure everybody knows who Medic is, but maybe I'm wrong, because I've been wrong before, sadly. Yeah, so I'm actually going to put a link in the description box to the video where RC Sparks and I unboxed the truck, and then we beat the crap out of the two of them, myself and his other friend Dan. He has more than just two friends, but another guy named Dan. We went out for a rip at his place, and we beat the crap out of this thing for a while. Yeah, damn near set on fire with the stock electronics. Both the motor and ESC were both crazy hot. Anyways, I'm actually going to put a link in the description box to go over and see that video in RC Sparks, and then I'm also going to put one down for the CEN Racing website. It says out of stock, but they're still in the pre-order stage, so I don't think it's actually technically been released yet. But when it does come out, hopefully I'm back to work by then, because I do want a second one. I do want to jack one up and make it to an off-road unit. Apparently there's other trucks by CEN Racing that have similar gears and axles and other trucks, and you can get a lockup system. Now, if anyone from CEN Racing actually does watch this video, please, 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 in your hop-up, apparently there's going to be hop-ups there that are going to come up for this thing. There are plates and screw holes all over this thing that aren't being used, that could be used in the future for God knows what. But what I want, I want you guys to make a kit where you get all the links, new drive shafts, and new shocks. You can jack this thing up an inch or two. You guys make that a kit, please, because the dog bone drive shaft thing, very hard to work with. So you need a kit with the new links, new drive shafts, and new shocks. Possibly C-hubs if you got to do an angle thing. But anyways, that's what I would want if anyone from CEN Racing checks out this video. Other than that, freaking love this thing. Dualies are wicked. The wheelbase is awesome. It's tons of fun in any situation so far. I'm not going to take it out in the rain or snow until I waterproof it, which is easy to do for me. But yeah, links below. Oh, and yeah, I'm going to put one RC Sparks in the video. One to CEN Racing, and then my favorite Ted video. I got a whack load because him and I used to hang out a lot together. He's mainly the guy who got me into trailing. This is when I got into RC. I was into it since I was a kid, but when I got into hobby grade RC, my first one was actually a low C trekker, or a low C comp crawler, if that's a hobby quality. I believe you would call it that. Then after that, I got a slash 4x4, and a slash 4x4 was just out. I got a brushless one. I met guys like SS Louis, Bacon, Juarez, Kevin. I don't know Kevin. I can't remember if Kevin's got a social media name or not, but I've known Kevin for years. I used to work with him at Echo. And then they got me over to comp crawling, and I met Ted. And Ted's like, well, let's go trail run. What do you got for a trail truck? I'm like, what's a trail truck? And then he shows me what an AX10, an XR10, an SCX10 is just coming out. The race was on its way. I think Medic at that time had one. Anyways, way back in the day, there's still tons of videos on my channel if you go back to Ted days. No, I don't have a section of Ted videos because I think that'd be just a little too weird. But I'm going to put a link to my favorite Ted video in the description below. Thanks again for watching. More of this truck to come. I got to get me a bigger motor. Thanks.